We'll get to those breaking stories in just a moment. Thank you for joining us on Action News Jax this morning. I'm Erica Bennett.
And I'm Cole Heath. It's a little chilly out there this morning, so grab your jackets. Let's get you over to First Alert meteorologist Aaron Clanahan in the First Alert Weather Center. Aaron?
It is chilly out there. We have temperatures in the 40s and 50s, but no rain out there right now, and I am expecting dry conditions for today. Here's a live look outside with our First Alert Skycam network. You can see those clouds moving in, and I am expecting them to stick with us through the weekend. Temperatures will be in the 40s and 50s for the next hour or so, and then we'll see a comfortably cool afternoon. 46 degrees right now in Lake City, 51 in Gainesville, Palatka at 45 degrees with temperatures in the mid-50s along our coast. Hour by hour today, warming up into the upper 60s for afternoon highs, so only a few degrees below average for this time of year. A very typical December day. You'll need jackets this morning, but then by this afternoon, it will be pretty nice. By 3 o'clock, we top out at 67, and at 5 o'clock, we're down to 65. We have much warmer weather on the way. We also have some rain on the way. I'll tell you when temperatures warm up into the 80s and also when you can expect some showers in your neighborhood in the full First Alert forecast.
Aaron, thank you. Let's get you caught up on that breaking news out of Jacksonville Beach.
Police say 3 people were able to escape a house fire there. This all happening on 12th Avenue and 9th Street. Action News Jax, Amber Krista joined us live at the scene. Amber, firefighters, they were able to quickly get that fire out.
And thankfully, because many of these homes right here are very close to each other. Take a look here, and you can see how far the fire was trying to spread here. You can look at that charred grass there below. Now, firefighters believe it started in this shed, some kind of a storage area connected to this home. And this is where you can see most of the damage. This is the back of the home. Investigators say the home is a total loss. There were 3 people inside and a dog. Firefighters say there were no working smoke detectors, and they are lucky they got out. I spoke to one of the guys who lives here. He said they were sleeping, and one of his roommates heard some crackling and popping sound. And a police officer driving by, he saw the fire and helped them, and they were able to get out quickly. Now, again, everyone is safe. Alex Belozzi, who lives here, staying pretty positive, even though he lost everything. He says you can replace belongings, but you cannot replace people.
I looked out the back, saw some flames looking up the side of the house, and got everything out. Then big fireball, fire trucks, and now no more fire.
Now, we do not know the cause right now, but you can probably see the investigators and the fire marshal out here. They're trying to figure that out. The homeowners also says he's not sure. He says the only thing in the shed were some bikes and some surfboards. Reporting live in Jax Beach, Amber Kriska, Fox 30 Action News Jax.
We continue to follow breaking news out of Arlington. Police are investigating a shooting at an apartment complex. Investigators say this all started with an argument between 2 people. Officers first responded to the shooting around 2:30 this morning at the Arlington Eagle Apartments. They said there was some kind of altercation, and that's when the suspect was shot several times. That person is now in the hospital with serious injuries.
We're following even more breaking news out of St. Johns County. Police, they have released new information in this rollover crash that left this vehicle absolutely mangled. Take a look. FHP says that it was a 21-year-old woman who was hurt on Passetti Road near Stanley Drive around 4 this morning. Investigators say that she was on the northbound lanes of County Road 13A when she traveled off the road at Stanley Drive. She tried to correct the steering wheel, but troopers say she hit a grassy area and was then thrown from her SUV. She's now at Orange Park Medical Center with serious injuries.
This morning, Florida officials have issued a missing child alert. Take a good look at your screen. Emily Gattaca was last seen in Gadsden County. That's right next to Tallahassee. Police say she was wearing a white polo shirt, khaki pants, and was carrying a black backpack. Emily is described as a white Hispanic, 4 feet 11 inches tall, weighing about 100 pounds. If you have any information or know anything, please call police. We're following even more breaking news from overnight. At least 1 person is hurt after an SUV went into a ditch on the southbound lanes of I-295 near Bay Meadows. It slowed down traffic for a bit as officers responded, and at least 1 person left the scene on a stretcher. No word yet on what led up to the crash, but we will update you as more information comes out.
New this morning, a professor is dead after a student also in custody now after a stabbing at USC. Authorities say a 50-year-old psychology professor was attacked inside an academic building. They say this was no random act because a USC student specifically targeted that professor. There is no longer a threat on that campus this morning.
This morning, we're getting new insight about the suspect involved in a hostage situation at a local credit union. He's accused of harassing people at a laundromat the night before. Take a look at this surveillance video from Wednesday night. It shows 23-year-old Nicholas Humphrey sitting outside the laundromat on Merrill Road. At one point, he gets up to talk to someone, and moments later, JSO pulls up. He was not arrested, but police stayed there until he left. The very next day, Humphrey allegedly held up 13 hostages at the Community First Credit Union on West Edgewood Avenue. Sky Action News Jax was there as it all unfolded. Thankfully, everybody made it out safely. Then, on Friday, the 23-year-old was denied bond at his first court appearance. His father tells us he had seen recent warning signs.
I think the last couple of days he's been, to me, not as same type of deposition. Been rambling, mumbling on, talking to himself, something unusual. The last 24 hours, I overlooked it. I thought maybe he was just drinking or something.
Andre Combs, Humphrey's father, who you just heard from, tells us he believes if you do the crime, you should do the time, but he wants to see his son get due process and be given a mental evaluation. Humphrey will be back in court on the 22nd of this month.
Right now, Jacksonville community is helping out the family of a teen killed in a car accident near his own high school. In just over a day, more than $4,500 has been raised for Derek George. We first told you about the 16-year-old's death Thursday night. Police say George lost control of his car and hit a tree on R.G. Skinner Parkway near Atlantic Coast High School. Several of his friends went to the crash site Friday morning with flowers and a jersey.
And I thought that I would lay it down for him because he loved the sport so much and he doesn't get the opportunity to play anymore.
Police say the two people also in that car were taken to the hospital with serious injuries.
Unfortunately, Derek was not the only Jacksonville student to die in a crash on the south side. Earlier on Thursday, Denny Grahovic was killed when police say a woman ran a red light at Beach and St. John's Bluff. He was a student at Sandalwood High School. On Friday, his friends put a sign at the intersection where he died. A GoFundMe account for Denny has raised more than $12,000. We're learning that the intersection where Denny was killed is considered a, quote, high-frequency crash area. According to JSO, there are 41 red light cameras placed throughout Jacksonville at the city's most dangerous intersections. The largest concentration of those cameras are on Beach Boulevard. Drivers say in most cases, red light cameras and the threat of a ticket don't make a difference.
They know that it's there and they want to race off because the light's going to flash to take the picture of their plates.
A 2014 study by the Florida Department of Highway Safety analyzed 23 Jacksonville intersections before and after the installation of red light cameras. Those intersections saw an increase in crashes.
Jacksonville University is getting rid of a mentoring program that exposes high school students to college life. The Upward Bound program at JU targets students at Jacksonville's Lee Jackson, Raines, and Ribault high schools. It gives students an experience of the college life during the summer months, but now that it's going away, 89 students will not get the chance to go through that program.
It meant access to quality education, and we all need an opportunity, and that was an opportunity afforded to me and many others. To see that disappear, I'm lost for words.
The program's instructor says the university sent his team a letter explaining their decisions. It said the school is going to utilize available space for current JU students rather than high school age Upward Bound students. We reached out to Jacksonville University but have not heard back.
This morning, a local teen is behind bars accused of trying to break into a Jacksonville Beach apartment. Police released this mugshot of Graydon Saunders last Friday. They say he and two others tried to break in last month. One of those teens was arrested the night of the attempted break-in. According to police, he was armed and wearing a bulletproof vest.
5 students are doing better this morning following this school bus crash caught on someone's camera. JFRD tells us the bus was taking kids from Raines High School Friday when it was rear-ended. At least 2 students were taken to the hospital. The good news, we're told none of the injuries were serious.
In Nassau County, FHP is still trying to uncover the details leading up to a crash that killed a man along US 1. Troopers say 52-year-old Daryl Crane was laying in the road Thursday night when he was hit by 3 cars. Several children were in those cars. Troopers have not said why Crane may have been lying in the road. Switching gears, President-elect Donald Trump is shaking up U.S. foreign policy with a phone call. On Friday, in an unprecedented move, Trump spoke with Taiwan's president. This after Washington cut formal diplomatic ties with the country in 1979. Mr. Trump's transition team said the two noted the close economic, political, and security ties between Taiwan and the U.S. China considers the self-governing island of Taiwan part of its territory, and in the 1970s, the U.S. adopted the so-called One China policy, recognizing Beijing as the official government.
The notion that the United States and the incoming president of the U.S. might be supporting a pro-independence agenda will be very, very worrisome to China.
On Twitter, the president-elect wrote, quote, interesting how the U.S. sells Taiwan billions of dollars of military equipment, but I should not accept a congratulatory call. The White House reacted to Mr. Trump's phone conversation, saying it is committed to the One China policy.
Cities across the United States are now getting ready for changes as President-elect Donald Trump continues to build his administration, specifically for Democratic leaders and how they work with the White House. Some Democrats say they're concerned repealing the Affordable Care Act could transfer health costs to city and county governments, forcing them to provide health care to uninsured people at public hospitals. And speaking of changes, this past week, President-elect Trump nominated retired General James Mattis to be his defense secretary. However, there is a speed bump on the road to the confirmation. U.S. law prevents anyone from serving as defense secretary who has been out of uniform less than 7 years.
Now, your first alert forecast.
Here's a live look outside with our First Alert Skycam network. This is out at JIA, where we have partly cloudy skies out there. Clouds will continue to move in as we head through the weekend. So unfortunately not quite as much sunshine as yesterday, but still a beautiful day. It's currently 46 degrees out there. Grab a warm jacket if you're heading out soon, but it will be comfortably cool as we head through the afternoon, with high temperatures warming up to 67 degrees this afternoon. We do have a big warm up on the way when temperatures climb towards 80 degrees again in the First Alert forecast.
Still ahead, it's a couple of mean-mugging jailbirds.
Yeah, we're talking about literal jailbirds. Take a look. The reason why this parrot ended up in a mugshot.